Welcome to another Swarf and Chips. As well as talking shop today, Paul and myself are going to take you to see our new studio that is getting built as we speak. So coming up in today's show, Paul and Colin visit Kigass Aero to look at a massive turning machine from Hwacheon that's recently been installed. Joe's in Italy at FIDIA having a really interesting tour around their showroom, as well as being on the south coast at Fraser Nash. And then we wrap up the show with a visit to Sodic in the Midlands. So welcome to this week's Swarf and Chips. Eight one.
It was the team.
8.
I think
Felt like more than 8, I tell you.
I think the manager's tactics were spot on. I
think they were
really do
awful.
think that.
The strategy
I had it
didn't
right. I had
exist.
it just right.
Really?
The team didn't deliver.
Is that what it
on
was?
the messages that I told you to do.
I think you'd
I told you to put the ball in the net, not your own net.
Of course. It's the same about the tonsillitis, really. I was
I know,
absolutely
you were gutted.
devastated.
And you, I must admit, Colin, you played very, very well.
Lindsay, thank you.
Never in doubt.
Did you know I got manager of the month?
No, you did not,
No,
Elias.
they're sacking you off.
are
See, they don't want you
rubbish.
anymore. You're rubbish.
You're
You did well. You had more
you.
shots at you than I don't know. I've never seen before.
Bring back the creamer.
Yeah.
Nah, because he turned up with that flipping puck. That's no good at football.
Anyway, if you want to challenge MTD, make sure you
Hold on, you're not manager though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I'll be
You've got to
manager.
be
I'll be on the
playing,
pitch
Paul. You've
next
got to
time.
be
I'll
playing.
be on the pitch next time. How did I end up with this anyway?
Because we in the changing room afterwards, you were rubbish.
It's had 2,000 watches, that game.
Seco did play well, though.
They did.
Got to admit, I
Yeah,
watched the
yeah.
game.
Well done,
you know,
Seco.
and they did
We,
play
So-
really
we
well.
did get our hands.
Yeah. So you're ready for another challenge?
No.
I think so.
No.
Okay, yes. Okay, so first up this week, we're off to Warwickshire at Kigass Components, where they recently installed a huge Hwacheon turning centre.
Bless you.
So we take the time when we're travelling around the UK to try and look at highlights on machine tools, new innovations, new technologies. I'm with Peter Platt here from Kigass Aero. Peter, you recently purchased what I can only describe as a huge turning centre from Ward High Tech. We're going to look at the technical kind of specifications of this machine, but firstly, why did you purchase it?
We purchased it. We've taken a new contract in the aerospace industry. Currently we can turn up to 600 millimetres diameter. We needed to get that diameter up to just close on 900 millimetres, so we needed a machine that would be in excess of that. And we had a look on the marketplace, looked at all the machines that will go up. We initially put the spec out at a metre. This comes up to 950 millimetres, so it's greater than what we need, and that was one of the key purchasing decisions, is first, will it do the diameter? Once we'd done that and looked at other machines, we did a technical capability analysis. We decided, looking at what we needed to manufacture, it was within the capability of this machine, comfortably within the capability of this machine. So that
And it also gave you the opportunity to future-proof yourself, to do bring in new work, which is much bigger than potentially what you've got here in terms of length, because you've got, is it 3 metres here in the Z?
We've got 3 metres in the Z, but that's the key about all manufacturing at the moment, and what UK manufacturers have to do, isn't it? What we're looking to do is, you want to do as much on a component, on a single setup, as you can do. If you can do one hit manufacture and get it completed in one hit, that's where we're going to be competitive compared to the rest of the market. So what we did here was not only purchased a machine that will do the product that we want to do, but we looked at what are the key issues or the key requirements we think, such that we can bring other work into the business. So we went for the C-axis driven tooling, so you can do milling with this combined with the C-axis. We also went for a Y-axis, such that when you're doing shafts or components, you can do machining off the centre of the component for splines or for hexagons or anything that you need to do. And we also decided to extend the length greater than we needed for the actual component we got the contract for, such that it gives us that capability to do longer shafts or longer components, such that we can move potentially outside of the aerospace industry into other industries like oil and gas or rail or things of that nature.
I think that's what excites us on our show, and also for engineers around the UK, is to look at different machines. We look at lots of turning centres that would be maybe I don't know, a quarter of the size of this, but to actually come on site here today, Peter, and see such a huge turning centre is a real pleasure. A couple of points I just want to pick out on for our viewers before we close here. First is, Peter mentioned the turning diameter on this. Just remind us, is it 900?
950 millimetres.
Yeah. And then secondly, when we look at the turret on this machine, I'm really impressed by the way Hwacheon, supplied by Ward High Tech in the UK, this turret is configured here with 2 points to secure your tools. So essentially you've got a much more sturdy positioning for your tool. You've got a much more stable construction there with a much bigger turret. Also a huge box guideway Y-axis on this and a box guideway base. The area for a fixed steady which is there, which in fact came with this machine, I know, at Kigass Aero. And of course, as Peter mentioned, the turning length with the tail stock at the end is, did you say 3 metres?
3 metres, indeed, yes.
And swarf evacuation looks pretty healthy as well.
Well, it has to be if you're taking a lot of swarf off. So.
Ideal if you're a manufacturer in the aerospace industry doing big rings, oil and gas, maybe even nuclear, rail industry. Perfect here for you guys at Kigass Aero. And that's it from me here at Kigass Aero in Warwick.
Forgive me for asking this, Paul, but is there a big competition in the industry for the C, the Y-axis and driven tooling and everything else that comes on this machine, but for this size machine, turning centre?
Yes, there is, but I would suggest that most machines of this size that are purchased, probably I reckon around about 70% would only have turning capability. So I would say that most purchases made of this size would generally just have sort of 2-axis turning capacity. So to go for a C-axis and to go for a Y-axis and driven tool, you know, you are setting yourself apart from the competition, which is obviously what Peter's done.
Yeah.
And great company. We went there for the network as well. Peter was such an engaging bloke, some great stories, and tying in with the magazine actually, because they had some advertising from magazines from 1946.
Oh, really?
Company had been going since 1924. Great story about how they weren't some of their first.
The same year as you were born.
Actually, I think we found you sold a machine to them, one of their first machines.
I did.
But let me finish. Rolls-Royce went to them, what is some work doing? How do you manufacture this? Well, actually, rather than we'll give you the secrets, they said we'll manufacture it for you, and they're still doing Rolls-Royce work now. So anytime you go on an A380, for example, Kigass Aero.
There you go.
Good testimony.
Peter knows his stuff as well.
Really engaging.
So now, guys, next we're going to hear from Joe, who's in Italy. Gio, why didn't you do this job?
I don't know. It could be to do with
Flying.
flying. Yeah.
And he wasn't invited.
Yeah.
Well, you could have gone over there.
It would have been less expensive. I wouldn't have eaten as much as Joe.
That was a low blow.
There is a pasta shortage in Italy.
Let's just head over to see Joe.
Sorry,
in Italy. You're not.
Okay, so we've just landed in northern Italy. I'm here with Tim Stout of TDT Machine Tools. And Tim, you've got 10 minutes to show us around your showroom. Let's take a look.
Okay, well this is the FIDIA 5-axis medium-sized machine, GTF 35. It's 4.5 metres in the X-axis, 3.5 in the Y, 1.5 metres in the Z. We're using some interesting technology here for measuring the levelling of the machine, using traditional water pots with a high-spec fibre optic measuring device for setting the levels.
So I guess that's Industry 1 and Industry 4 all put together.
Absolutely, yeah. The latest technology with traditional engineering.
Well, I'm told when you get past a certain distance, it's actually more accurate than the laser.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, the big advantage is that water finds its level. So on a 20-metre machine, the gravity and the water level will always be the same. It's not affected by temperature or wind.
And just quickly, we know the FIDIA control, the world famous FIDIA control. Quick advantages quickly.
Yeah, it's FIDIA manufacture their own CNC and drives, so they offer exceptional performance in terms of position accuracy, speed, and also contouring control.
Let's look at the next one. Another GTF 35.
Yep, this is a GTF 35, same capacity going to the same customer. This one's actually demonstrating the plane rotation software for measuring at inclined angles. We can actually calibrate and measure in 5-axis at any angle and compensate for the head position, etc, etc.
So this machine, the GTF 40, it's huge.
Yeah, this is the biggest machine in the FIDIA range. This machine's actually sold to Stour Auto in Czech Republic. 7.6 metres in the X, 4.5 in the Y-axis and 1.5 in the Z-axis.
And just look at the size of that gantry. It's huge, so stable.
This is a massive machine. It's actually got 2 heads, auto head changing. We've got 3,000 RPM, 47 kilowatt head for heavy metal removal, and also a high-speed, low torque head for finishing.
And don't be put off by the table. That's obviously there just for prove-out purposes. But this is a second machine being purchased by the same customer.
Yeah, indeed. It's part of a 2-machine order for FIDIA that's going to Stour, as I say, in Czech Republic.
When you say Skoda, what will they be doing on these machines?
Well, we believe they're doing all the mould stamping, body panels, and also the main frame for the vehicles.
But you can actually see the machine, as I say, with no covers on at all. It's huge, very well built machine.
Oh yeah, the structure on these machines is very, very well engineered, and that's why FIDIA actually started manufacturing their machines, because they couldn't find a machine tool builder that could really match the performance of their CNC controls and drives. So hence they started building their own machines to get the best out of the controls.
Come on, lead the way. What's this next machine? It's not a machine I know.
This is the GTF 22. This is the smallest travelling upper gantry machine that FIDIA produce. Again, it's designed for aluminium, mould and tool, composite machining, high specification, fully enclosed machine. This 4 metres in the X, 2.5 in the Y, and 1.2 in the Z.
So we're looking for manufacturers making things out of plastics, aluminiums.
Yeah, and also mould and die. Yeah, we're capable of cutting steel on these machines.
Now this is something you wouldn't necessarily associate with FIDIA. This is actually a 3-axis machining centre.
Yeah, this again, it's quite a high-end machine. It's fairly unique in the marketplace in that the table is fixed and the actual Y-axis moves in and out. So we've got a very rigid machine that again we can produce high tolerance workpieces to great surface finishes.
Like you say, again, it's that famous gantry style from FIDIA. Great access for loading components and just a high specification 3-axis vertical machining centre for people that do need that accuracy.
Yeah, accuracy and surface finish, absolutely.
Yeah, Tim, the G996 RT. It's a popular machine. I know it's fairly new to the range, but very popular already.
Yeah, this is an 800 full 5-axis, 800 table 5-axis machine. It's a monolithic cast iron structure. Again, high-end machine, high performance, accuracy. We've got over 1G acceleration on the machine, 45 metres a minute. Rapid traverses.
I know FIDIA claim that it's the only machine in the marketplace capable of 1G acceleration.
FIDIA believe that, yeah, it's actually the only machine in the market that can do that. They also claim they can actually go somewhat faster than that, but realistically, I don't think anybody really needs to achieve that.
The first thing I noticed, again, this gantry style, which is great, but such a large machine envelope for such a small machine.
Yeah, it's very well designed in terms of the footprint. It is compact. We can actually mount a component over a metre diameter on the work table. So yeah, it's a good compact size.
And it's also got basic turning functionality.
Yeah, we can fit live spindle option for the table indeed.
A showroom tour is priceless. It gives you confidence in the brand, doesn't it?
I think what was evident for me there was the actual amount of machines that they were making of that size.
Yes.
I think typical sort of engineers, we can do it better, so they do it themselves all the time.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic facility, and it's a great video from Joe. And I think that what really stood out for me is that they don't just manufacture the machines, the hardware, but the software as well, which works in harmony with the hardware. Hence, you know, Tim touched upon surface finish and accuracy. They've got full control of that machine tool, and it's a very top-end machine tool and get top-end results.
And I think it's you can also see the different types of machines they make, from the huge ones right the way down to the small machining centres and the 5-axis machines. So you might not have known that TDT Machine Tools actually supply this style of product, but they do. What I also liked is the level in there where you've got the water where you used it. Yeah. It came into play when Joe stood on the end of the table because obviously the levels went up.
Oh.
But it got wet. In fact, the water went up in the air. It got wet.
But joking aside, now let's go back.
They
What about the controls? Because Heimbach, Siemens, Fanuc.
Yeah, well, so you got Heidenhain, Siemens, and all the rest of it, but a lot of manufacturers will develop their own control systems because it's no different to developing your machine tool. You can make it, you know, perfect to the product that you're actually supplying.
And some of the safety features as well, you know, when you've got the collisions, when you've got that tilting head, that they're built into the control system so they can they can check for any collisions actually on their screen.
Yeah, and also
quite...
these are manufacturing for Skoda cars. So
if you want to watch they are good cars. If you want to watch the full video, by the way, we do have that on the MTDCNC website too. Now, back 2 videos back to back. One from Colin, who's going to be talking turning, and that trip to the south coast at Hwacheon. Now, that's going to give Paul and myself enough time to run over to the new studio. So I'll see you on the other side of this.
We recently did a video for Pattern Fasteners, James Beddoes, on behalf of Citizen. I have an apology though, because I said you're in Birmingham, you're not, are you?
We're in the Black Country.
Sorry to all you people from the Black Country and from Birmingham. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Right, James, quickly, background, Pattern Fasteners, I'm thinking nuts, bolts, screws.
Yeah, you'd be right to a degree, but we make everything non-standard, so everything's made to order. We don't just do nuts, bolts, we do lots of precision turn parts as well.
Okay. Now, taking a step back, I'm thinking that sort of parts, you're going to be bringing them in from China and it's going to be really cheap, but maybe a bit dodgy on the quality?
Well, we don't bring anything in from China, we don't buy and sell, and we make everything here in-house.
Right. So, obviously of the utmost quality then?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Now, the company's been going since 1981. You bought it about 2.5 years ago. You sort of dipped your toe in. Never done CNC work before, so what did you buy?
Citizen L20.
But they were second-hand machines because it was just dipping the toe in.
Yeah, that's right. We had a lot of work that could be done on CNC machines. We were using older machines to do that, and we saw the benefit of moving those onto a more modern machine.
Okay, so essentially improving efficiency.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. But also, it's great endorsement in terms of learning that CNC, because I'm thinking, that a lot of work and training and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely, and a lot of learning on the job, doing jobs that way, and getting help from where you can. Citizen have been very helpful along the journey.
Okay, so obviously worked very well because you have bought a new machine.
Yep, Citizen L20 LFV.
Okay, now big smile all the time we've been here. The new machine. We're just going to quickly cover off on the LFV. What's that doing for your machining?
Massively improved it. We get.
It was good before though.
Yeah, it was good before. We've got greater productivity. We see less things like bird nesting, stopping the machines from running. Yep. Tolerances are tighter. We're having to change tips less, so we're getting longer tool life. So very happy on all fronts, really.
Nice and simple. I mean, people out there will think LFV, it is about bird's nest chipping, but like you say, tool life, tolerances, things like that. So just a very brief summary. Thank you very much. Guys, great endorsement. Investment, British manufacturing, and learning new skills. So back to the studio. We're here with our good friends at Hwacheon, and Andy is going to talk us through their latest investments. Andy, you spent a lot of money of late.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a spending spree just before Christmas, as always. So the majority of our investment was within 5-axis over the last few months. So we've got our nice new i500 behind us from Mazak, which joins our original one tucked in the corner. So this is kind of the core of our 5-axis work. Sort of small, intricate components, low volume, nice, easy, repeatable work, sort of a solid base for it. And then sort of as we walk around, you've got the i700 just tucked over here. So this gives us a little bit more side on the scope on size and weight within the components. And as I say, obviously the ease of accessibility within there as well.
Smooth control?
Absolutely, no other choice.
Yeah, and if we take this machine, this was here last time I came, but I know it's still making you lots of money, this machine.
Absolutely, so we've had the i600 for a couple of years now. It's been a solid, reliable machine. As you can see, it's been well used over the last couple of years. And it's just a great sort of tool to your arsenal, really. So we're now up to 4 5-axis machines, along with multiple sort of 3, 4, 5-axis elsewhere. Multi-axis lathes with driven tooling as well. We've got the wire EDM tucked around the other side, and then additive manufacturing as well.
A bit of everything here at Hwacheon manufacturing. More investment to come this year?
Absolutely. So the machine just next to us at the moment is going to be replaced at the middle of this year, and then we're sort of toying with where we go next.
So there we have it. Lots of investment, regardless of what's happening at Westminster. Nothing changes here at Hwacheon. Brexit? What Brexit?
So, Paul, this is the new facility.
Yes, this is it. This is it. I mean, let's go inside and take a quick look.
I've
It's
not
a bit
seen
like
it yet.
bit like Homes Under the Hammer. This.
It is.
Can we say that here on Swartford Ships? Right. So this will be, of course, inside where all of the good work's done. See, the workmen have got the radio playing at the moment, but here's going to be all the offices and the kitchen area and all that sort of stuff. We move through here.
Maybe shouldn't have done this in heels.
all going together at the moment. So we've now got 2 toilets.
I have my own toilet.
You have your own toilet. We've also got a shower cubicle here for Colin, because he obviously needs that with his sweaty exterior and interior. And then I'm going to take you up to the good bit up here, Linz. This is where the magic happens up here. So as we come up here, this is where all the editing's done, the live streaming. This is where all the magic happens. It's where the creations are made in there. It's Joff's domain, and then we come into here into the studio. So this is over twice the size of what we had before. We'll have a brand new set against the back wall. We'll have sets against both the side walls. We'll have interactive green screens in here, and of course, as a result of the channels just growing and growing, we're going to have more and more shows to accommodate more and more visitors, because we get people wanting to come here, and then our current place is not as accommodating as this. Of course, we're going to have a canteen area and all the rest of it where people can relax. So we will be in here in March, and with that we're going to change. Swarf and Chips is going to have a face change, so it's going to look different as a result of this studio, so I really can't wait.
I literally cannot wait. But it is so cold in here at the moment. I think snow's due later on today.
I think you're right.
Yeah, so we're going to head back to the studio, and in the meantime, you can go and see what Mark got up to at Sodic.
We know the marketplace is very busy at the moment, end users are investing heavily, but it's also about people. Now I'm here with Jim. Jim has actually recently joined Soditech. Now Jim, tell me a little bit about your background and what area that you're going to be covering in the UK.
Hi Mark, yes, I'm a area sales manager for the North and also Scotland. So I bring to Sodic over 20 years of EDM experience, plus 15 years of that has been in the machine tool industry. So all in the application side of it. So hopefully with my experience and my background, I can pick the correct machines for the correct customers' applications and so on.
So really from a technical point of view, it's easy to know what the customer is looking to do, and you can actually find a solution based on the products that you got at Sodic.
Exactly, yeah. So all the product range that we've got at Sodic, different products for different types of applications obviously, so I can be that link that will get the correct machine to the correct customer.
Well, there you go. Talking about investment, if you are looking for an EDM solution in the North or Scotland, contact Jim at Soditech.
Oh, I'm so excited about that new studio though.
It's going to be fantastic. Can't wait.
It looks great. It's coming along nicely.
Has it got any heating? Look, flipping freezing up there.
I'm glad we stayed in the studio.
How do you know it's cold?
I have no particular reason, Lindsay.
What? Anyway, Jim, he's going to be a really busy man, isn't he now?
He is, and I'll tell you something, Lindsay, I made a bit of an observation. He must be about 6'7". I wouldn't like to have interviewed him myself because I would have had to have stood on a stool. We were at FANIC the other week and we interviewed Andy Spence, and he's about 6'7" too. They're all
and
giants.
Chris Elliott.
It's all the wire EDM then.
Is that what it is?
Part of their initiation.
Right, let's go back a couple of videos. Citizen.
Yeah, Colin, I've got a question for you on this one. You know, you over the last year, you've done many testimonials for Citizen, and they are absolutely brilliant, may I add. They are very good. But, you know, I've got a question for you personally. In your opinion, why do you believe people are investing in Citizen, and why do you believe that they're getting such success from the product?
There's a number of things. Yeah, the LFE technology, it's not just about chipping, and process security is one of the engineers. That's the phrase they use, you know, less use of lubricant, better tool life, better finish, running 24/7, things like that. But it's also about sales, support, service, programming. Great example here, great story. They had not used a CNC machine before, about 2.5 years ago, first machine, Citizen, and now they're programming, they're using software, absolutely love them.
I think the question as well, in answer to your question, Gio, it's about sliding head lathes becoming more adaptable. So nowadays you can do a lot of work on a sliding head, which you used to have to do on a fixed head as a result of the guide bush, non-guide bush. You know, so both, you know, Tornos, Stour, Citizen, Do-Guide, people that sell sliding head lathes have seen a growth in that market as a result of those factors.
Okay.
Oh, and there's also one thing I've got to mention.
Oh no.
I was on these guys' website actually, and they do no screws, fasteners, incredible amount of products that they do. They even had something called a dog point screw.
They do.
A lot of bite though, didn't it?
Oh,
Can we move on, please?
we just knew. Right, Frasian asked Brexit. What Brexit?
Well, it's just a great example of a company that's just ignoring everything that's going on at Westminster, continuing to invest. If you've equally got a story like this, then let us know, because it can feature on Swarf and Chips. And that's key. You know, people need to keep investing, as they have done in Mazak. The points I'd probably want to pick out is about the machine, the accessibility, the build of the machine, the fact it's a bridge style machine. That area within the Mazak machines is so accessible to an operator. And I think for me, investment's great, but looking at the machine they've selected, it would have to be one of my favourites when it comes to a 5-axis machine, for sure. Really like the look of it and feel.
For me as well, Paul, what I really love that I saw at Fraser Nash was that they've got an EDM machine, and they've also got an additive manufacturing machine. So they're embracing the latest technology, which works in harmony with a 5th-axis machine. Some people think, get a 5th-axis machine, I can do everything. But there's certain components that lend themselves to the EDM machine. And just on one more note, my mum actually phoned me up about this company. I didn't even realise that she watches Swarf and Chips. So we've got another fan. She works for Babcock International.
Everyone watches
And the whole family watch it now.
Fraser Nash are part of Babcock International. I didn't know that, and she said it was a fantastic video, because there's a full review about Fraser Nash that is on MTDCNC. So watch that video too, and make sure you comment and subscribe.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. You've been watching a show, Gio.
I like it, Gio. We need to swap jobs. I like it. Thank you very much, Jen. So that's it for another show. Do make sure you're getting involved, and you can see your business, if we said, feature on the UK's fastest growing manufacturing programme. So contact us here at Swarf and Chips. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And as we always say, keep those spindles turning.